Don't touch me, old man. I don't know where you've been. Oh, Sal, no one could take a joke like you. Of course I'll help you out.
Really?
Certainement. No way is anybody gonna hurt my pal Sal. That's it. That's what I want to see. A nice big smile.
Junk food supper.
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 Junk food
Junk
supper.
food supper.
Junk food supper.
Junk food supper.
Junk food supper.
Junk food supper. Junk food supper.
Junk food supper.
Welcome to Junk Food Supper. This is the weekly podcast, more or less, except for the 1 week out of the month where we take a break. We talk about crazy stuff here. We review movies. We don't have a set intro. That's the kind of podcast this is. I am Parker, joined as always by Sean Byron in LA. And this week we are joined by our friend Hatless Jackson Stewart, the director of Beyond the Gates, which today is celebrating its 6th anniversary on Blu-ray, by the way. Today.
No shit.
I saw that on Facebook.
Wow. Well, thank you for alerting me of that. I was totally oblivious. So that's
Oh, wow.
that's nice to know. I'm well, thank you for the warm intro, but I'm a bit under the weather right now, which you guys can probably hear. So I will forge ahead and do my best to be witty in spite of this head cold. So good times.
Well, it's a pretty low bar that you'll have to clear on this podcast to stand out with your wittiness. So I wouldn't worry too much. You're not alone. I'm feeling not down in a physical way, but I am feeling the weight of the world this week. I don't know. Is it just me or do things for our future just feel a little bit dire? I don't know.
I would say so. It definitely seems pretty dire. Like I was talking to a friend of mine right before hopping on here with you guys, and he was just like, "Oh, they're just going to have AI write these first drafts, and then do all this sketchy stuff, and blah 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 blah." And I was like, I could 100% see that happening. So. Who knows? But I love being pleasantly surprised. We'll see, though, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, the AI stuff is scary. You've got, like heads of research from Google and all these big companies like quitting over it. And, that's one thing. But I think also just like, I don't know, the fact that it's been sprinkling rain on and off on occasion in Los Angeles, that's really got me down as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, it's very strange to like have some autumn weather in the middle of spring. But who knows? Maybe it'll all work out for the next generation.
Between all this artificial intelligence and the rain in LA, we're basically living in Blade Runner.
I could see that.
Hey, then I should not be complaining. That's been my goal this entire time.
I do have to say, on the Blade Runner front, I was just thinking about this. It was like they really did nail that tortoise on its back thing in the hot sun, and how like the AI can't figure out, or rather these replicants can't figure out that that's a bad thing, and you got to flip it over. Because all this AI artwork that I've been seeing, I was just like, God, this just looks wrong. It's like
soulless.
Unable to figure out humanity in some way. So pretty interesting.
I do wonder about that stuff, though. Like you see, there's all these news stories this past week about AI generated pizza commercial and AI generated beer commercial, and I watch these things and I wonder, to what extent do we mean AI generated? Like, I don't think a guy just sat down at ChatGPT and said, make me a commercial. I think he said a lot of very specific prompts to generate something that was already in his head. And then the computer gets kind of comically close to what was in his head, but just off enough that it creates this kind of funny, uncanny valley kind of thing.
Yeah, that thing was, the stills I saw of that were absolutely horrifying. I was
It is terrifying when you watch it. Yeah,
it's like, if this is the competition, I don't think we have anything to worry about. But who knows? Maybe they'll figure out what teeth look like at some point.
Although I would like to see what David Lynch could generate with one of these Chat GPTs. You know what I mean?
I'd be curious to see where his mind would go with that. It does not feel like a very Zen thing to do, though. So I think he'd probably avoid it, or maybe he wouldn't. I have no idea.
He's got to do something now that he's not giving me his weather update every morning at 8 a.m.
Yeah, did he tap out on that?
Yeah, I think he stopped once Angelo died.
Oh, yeah, that's too bad.
So.
Understandable, though. He's a one of a kind, you know.
There's a lot of good Lynch stuff up on the Criterion channel right now, and I watched, there's a documentary called Lynch, and then in parentheses the word one, Lynch One.
Wow.
That's like basically about the making of Inland Empire and kind of his explorations with digital cameras and all that stuff that I hated about in Inland Empire, you know, they kind of talk about. But pretty good documentary if you haven't seen it. Like, it's cool to see his work process. It's cool to see him smoking 1 million cigarettes and then just throwing them on the ground in his office, and his floor is just littered with cigarettes.
Wow.
But yeah,
it's very shocking to me he's a smoker. He seems like he'd be like Mr. Healthy.
Yeah, well, and I think that I don't know that he eats all that healthy either, right? I mean, he loves coffee, and I think he still likes to have, you know, like a slice of cherry pie with a scoop of ice cream and all that kind of stuff. Like, his favorite restaurants are like Bob's Big Boy and Dupar's. So
it's very... It's strangely fitting and also very shocking at the same time.
He's making it work for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Inland Empire. I'd be kind of curious to rewatch that. Apparently, they cleaned it up big time. So
yeah, but is that what you want? Do you want it to be cleaned up? Like, as much as I was complaining about how shitty it looked when it was made, it's like, well, that's was the movie that they made. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, TBD. I'll watch both versions.
Yeah, I think that's the only sane approach. Spend 6 hours of your life watching this movie that's not that great.
Done it before. Well, good times.
I like David Lynch. I'm going to be honest with you guys.
That can be the new drop there.
Just clean it up.
Yeah.
I'll redo all my David Lynch drops like they're redoing his movie.
Oh. I would sign up for that.
Well, would you sign up for this? It's the first segment on tonight's episode. Tonight we're going to be talking about a movie called Batman: Mask of the Phantasm. And in honor of this, well, I guess maybe you should introduce this. This segment is your thing. You came up with it, Sean Byron.
Oh,
well, I guess you are correct. This is my segment, so I should intro it. Yeah, I mean, I thought maybe a good way to kill time here at the top of the show would be to just chat about comic book to film adaptations. So we're going to do our patented segment, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, that is original to us, you know, that we invented, and it's not based on any existing properties. But we'll be talking about, you know, a few movies each that are based on existing properties. Now, I restricted myself on my list to US movies only, because I feel like if we go worldwide, like, everybody's just going to include Akira as their good, because, you know, it's probably the best adaptation of a manga. And I mean, overall, our list would probably just be all Japanese, because these Japanese are nuts about adapting their comics to screen. But I stuck with US stuff. What about you guys?
Well, I think everybody kind of knows where I stand on my comic books. Like, I like Captain America and I dislike Zack Snyder. So, like, in order to not sound redundant in the stuff that everybody already knows that I like, I'm doing mine specifically geared towards you and what I would recommend to you, Sean Byron.
Okay.
Or not recommend.
Okay. All right. I mean, I think that you've got a lot of room to make recommendations because I haven't seen any of these new Marvel movies. I mean, the most recent one that I've seen, I think, was Thor Part 2, maybe?
Oh, wow.
Thor 3, yeah. Yeah, we
Was it
saw
3?
that.
Okay, yeah.
But that was a long time ago, so yeah.
It's a very long time ago. Never seen any of the Avengers, never seen so many of these new Marvels, but Marvels are not the only superhero movies out there, you know, and superhero movies are not the only comic book movies, actually, you know, now that we think about it. So
yeah,
I might be able to surprise you with some of the stuff on this list.
Intriguing. Yeah, I mean, I kind of kept mine more in the superhero vein, but I mean, there's certainly stuff like, you know, Ghost World and several others that probably would have weaseled their way onto it. But yeah, whenever I hear comic book, I generally just think of superhero stuff. So maybe my flub there, but so it goes.
I mean, to give a few examples of things that I didn't pick, but would technically be comic book movies, I guess, you know, like you could have picked a Tales from the Crypt movie.
Oh
yeah.
It's technically a comic book movie. Weird Science is even technically a comic book movie. I mean, that'd be a weird Fredo pick, but it is, I guess, technically based on a comic.
Wait, really?
I don't know. Isn't that like one of the old EC comics as well?
Yeah, one of the old EC comics was called Weird Science, but the actual plot of that movie is
probably original. Or maybe it's like slightly based on some old comic. I don't know. Not a computer dating thing from, you know, the 1940s or 50s or whatever, but, you know, would have been something. I don't know. Who knows? But there's a lot of borderline comic book movies. But what I'm more interested in is what did weasel its way onto your list, Jackson? Let's hear your good.
My good, I had to do a two-way split between Batman 89 and Superman 78, just because they were pretty much the most formative movies for me as a youngster. And I feel like they've gotten sort of bashed in recent years for whatever reason. And I'm here to stand up against that. I love the Prince soundtrack in Batman 89. I love the actors, just the gorgeous production design. My boy Michael Keaton. You know, even Mr. Robert Wool has grown on me a bit. And for Superman, yeah, it's one of those things. It's like they nailed that property the first time out, and they can't seem to figure it out for whatever reason. In recent years, I mean, maybe James Gunn will turn that around, but I found it very odd that they can't just sort of look at what they did the first time and build off of that. Those are my two good. I could plug way more in, but I'm going to just leave it with those dudes.
I feel like you're preemptively defending these movies to me because I don't
I
like
definitely am.
You don't like either of them?
I do not know.
I knew it.
Wow.
I think that Tim Burton Batman movie it's got more Robert Wall than it has Bruce Wayne in it, which is a real shame. And that Superman movie has the absolute worst ending a movie could ever have in the history of cinema. And it drives me nuts every time I watch it.
You're talking about the flying around Earth thing?
Flying around Earth, which not scientifically feasible. That would not do time travel. And it's not set up in any way. It's just like the purest Deus Ex Machina. Yeah. And it's and then like it didn't he like do it again in like part 2 or like the Donner cut of part 2 or something like that?
The Donner cut of part 2, he did repeat that.
It's crazy.
And I'm pretty sure that was never done in the comic books. I mean, I haven't read every single appearance of Superman in DC fiction, And, granted, he did a lot of crazy shit, especially if he was hopped up on red kryptonite or whatever. But I don't think this is from the comics. If it was, I would give it a pass of just like, yeah, it's dumb, but the comics are dumb, and that's, what they included.
I like dumb comic book stuff like that, though. It's like, to me, that's the big sort of draw of it is, you have like the Green Goblin get resurrected after he, brutally died like 30 years prior. And you're like, oh, it was all this, made up nonsense that they brought him back. And it was all part of his master plan. Like, I like that kind of insane storytelling. And it's also too, it's just some of these things you see them at the right age and it just doesn't, it'll never ping with me in the way that I think it would with you guys. And that's kind of the magic and wonder of cinema is, we can all sort of be right about the same movie, but it makes sense. What you're saying. I feel like it's maybe like a Silver Age thing where Superman could like punch planets out of their orbit. Because that was a thing at one point. But
I think he could vibrate through walls as well, like the Flash can. Like he could do pretty much anything that any superhero could do, like Superman could also do.
Yeah, and they kept kind of building that to like this sort of ludicrous degree where they had to scale it back because it was just like, well, there isn't even a threat to this guy, So it's a good deal, but I love my boy Marlon Brando as Jor-El. I love Christopher Reeve. I'm standing by it.
All right, but that's fair, and that's your purview. I think I'm about halfway between you two guys where I like that first Batman movie. It's not my number one favorite Batman movie, but I think it's pretty damn good. I mean, Jack's great in it.
He's awesome.
Set designs are cool. The music is great. It finally captured that 1930s kind of Art Deco feel that I want to always see in my Batmans. That had been kind of absent even from the comics at that point in time. So I think Batman's great. Superman, I never liked it as a movie. It's weird because I think it does capture the tone of Superman pretty well.
Yeah.
And I think that, the cast is really good. But as a movie, it's like, it almost feels like it was made by a Kryptonian or something where it's like, have you seen a movie before? Like, this is not how movies are made. And it's, the tone just kind of jumps around a bunch and I don't know.
It definitely has some very dark stuff in it, which I guess they reverse it, but it's I hear you. I think it's definitely valid. But I don't know. It's just one that's like always kind of stuck with me, and but. So it goes. We can all have our own opinions here on Junk Food Supper.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Of course.
Unless somebody talks about they like Zack Snyder movies, then we're just going to cut it off.
There's at least one Zack Snyder movie that, I don't know, might be a good superhero movie. Might be on this. Who knows? I don't know.
Well, yeah, there's one good one at least. But I'll get to my good here.
Yeah.
All right.
And like I said, these are kind of geared towards you, Sean, because I know you don't watch a lot of these movies, and no one wants to hear me just gush about Captain America more. So my good that I think you would like, and I have actually mentioned this before, but I think that you being a fan of animation, I think that you would really enjoy Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which has this crazy animation style. It looks like a comic book on screen. Like, I don't know. It's amazing. Like, it's hard to explain. Like, there's like a weird frame rate to it that kind of emulates like the flipping through pages. They have like the ink dots, like kind of like, that you would see on some of the older comics.
You're talking about zip tone.
There you go. Yeah, like
Ooh.
those little, the little dots. And it's just like this amazing, I think that you could just sit back, even if you're not into the Spider-Man part of it, which I think you would be because it's a very good story. But even if you didn't like that part, I think that as an aficionado and an appreciator of good animation, that you would find enjoyment in this movie. So yeah, and I believe you like this movie as well, right, Jackson?
Wait, say the last sentence of that. I was loudly blowing my nose.
Sorry. You enjoy Into the Spider-Verse, right? You think
It's terrific. I mean, it's crazy innovative too. I mean, I saw it. I might have seen it opening night actually, but I remember just being really impressed with it. And the story's great. The kid playing Miles is terrific, and the way they sort of blend everything together is just very, very smart and poignant. And I'm really curious to see the second one, if they can top it or match it or what have you. But Sean, I think you'd probably like that movie quite a bit.
I believe it's also probably free to me. I'm guessing that is on Disney Plus, probably, maybe. So
I think they added it on there. I'm not 100% sure, but pretty sure.
I'll check this out. I mean, I'm not going to pay any money for it, but if I can get this for free, I would like to check this out. I've heard nothing but good things. I don't think there's anybody out there who has said, "Oh, that movie sucks."
Well, even people that aren't really into those. I mean, frankly, it's like a lot of the more recent stuff I'm not so into, but that movie really, really just pulls it off and is pretty spectacular.
Will there be references to things from the comics that come from an era that I lived through and read some of?
Definitely.
Like, I mean, there's Carnage, Venom type stuff, or is it all kind of weird? Like, who's this Miles guy, Miles Morales? Like, all that stuff. I'm like, I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
Well, some of it is, a lot of it's newer, but I mean, there's definitely stuff you'll remember from, I mean, like when I was reading superhero books regularly, it was, like the late 90s into early 2000s, but there's definitely stuff from that era that if you watch it, you'll certainly catch.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's about Miles, but Peter Parker's also in it. Spider-Ham is in there.
Mm-hmm.
I do like Spider-Ham.
And of course, Spider-Man Noir, as played by Nick Cage, your favorite actor on Earth.
Yep.
I like the sound of that.
It's pretty fun. It's on Hulu right now.
Ooh.
Oh, I already have Hulu. So I was planning on signing up for Disney Plus to watch that Mandalorian, which I think the season's probably finished by now, but maybe I can continue to defer that.
As somebody who's seen the first 3 episodes of the new Mandalorian, I think that you should defer that.
Did you watch Andor? Because I still haven't seen that either. Like, just from a distance, that Andor show looked kind of crummy to me, but everybody loves it, I guess.
I haven't seen that.
Everyone I've talked to has said it's phenomenal. And I mean, like, there are people that are very hard to please. So and not people that are just sort of blanket praising fanboy stuff. I'm very curious about it. I actually might give that a whirl this evening, but I've heard from enough people that I trust that the show is pretty terrific. So we'll see.
Well, and if it's not, there's no shortage of other new Star Wars stuff coming down the pipeline, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, I'm curious I'm curious if they're ever going to do another theatrical movie again. It seems like they just keep punning that every couple of years or so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got a good. Let me get to my good here, and to now to nearly contradict myself, because earlier I said I'm not going to be picking any Japanese movies, but I did pick a movie based on a Japanese comic. It is an American movie, and that is Speed Racer from 2008 is my good. This is a movie that I've actually been thinking about a little bit lately in the lead up to Barbie, because I feel like this was one of the very few movies that got me hyped just based on visuals alone. Speed Racer, much like Barbie. I guess maybe Tron Legacy is also in that category, but it's rare for me to see a movie and just see like a still image and be like, I got to see this. But that was the case with this. I remember it coming and going from theaters so quickly back in 2008 that I didn't get a chance to go out and see it in theaters. And I was bummed. But when it finally hit home video, I watched it. And despite not even liking I never read the manga, and I actively disliked the TV show whenever it would show up on TV when I was a kid.
Really?
I just thought it was kind of annoying and kind of like lo-fi, and I'm like, what is this crap? Seemed kind of dumb and slow and repetitive and gave me a headache. But this movie is not slow or boring. It's so colorful and futuristic and just has this kind of loopy vibe to it that I fucking love this movie. It's definitely my second favorite Wachowski after Bound, and it's a movie that I still hope to see someday in theaters.
I think they play it at the New Beverly semi-recently?
They probably did, but I would have had to have waded through a gaggle of young people who intimidate me in order to attend that.
They're all pushovers in that crowd. A strong wind would blow them away. I kid. I should not be saying such things, even jokingly. But no, they're a welcoming. That the audience there is a pretty welcoming bunch. I've found. I went to a screening a couple weeks ago, and it was pretty fun. Everyone there was very friendly, and I got into a long conversation about Resident Evil 4 with the girl who was sitting behind me.
Maybe intimidate's not the right word. Maybe it's more they prompt a depression in me about my own condition.
Oh.
And just aging in general, where I'm like, oh, wow, I'm the old guy now.
I mean, it happens to us all, man.
It does. I'm going through some stuff this week. Clearly, it's sprinkling outside. I'm thinking about my age.
It's all going to work out.
But did you ever see this Speed Racer, Jackson?
I'm quasi ashamed to say I did not. And I remember hearing from, actually, my Don Mancini, the creator of Young Charles, loves that movie. And I think I remember, I think it was around when I first met him, but he saw it like 8 times or something in the theater. He was like a huge fan of it. So, and I was like, really? Speed Racer. All right. And then just never got around to watching it. But, your endorsement certainly moves it up my list, sir.
You got to see it. And if I'm not incorrect, I believe there might be a second endorsement coming down the pipeline right now.
I actually have never seen it.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, I've been wanting to. It looked interesting to me, and I know that you like it, and it's like, I feel like it has gotten like kind of a reappraisal where people are like, oh, actually, yeah, this is like kind of a masterpiece and we should appreciate it. So I've been wanting to. But I think every time I like go to watch it, I remember like the Matrix movies. And I'm like, I don't need to see anything like that.
I don't want
it.
Exactly. So, but I should probably watch it. I mean, it looks very fun.
Yeah, it's extremely fun. So I think you would definitely enjoy it. I don't know if it's on Hulu or I'm sure it's not on Disney Plus, but it's probably out there for a few bucks.
I'll check it out.
Interesting.
Well, I guess maybe, should we move on to our bads?
Yeah.
What is your bad, Mr. Jackson Stewart?
Well, my bad. I pray this does not follow me at any point in the future, but my bad was a little movie called, and I think this is a fairly safe movie to dunk on, but Dark Phoenix, the X-Men movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody will fault you for not liking this universally hated travesty.
I like that movie quite a bit.
Oh,
Oh, Kevin disagrees.
Kevin chiming in. Yeah, no, I saw this with a girl I was dating at the time, and we were both pretty pumped because we both love X-Men. And I actually really liked X-Men Apocalypse, which everyone hated, and Days of Futures Past and First Class, like all those new sort of X-Men films I really dug. But yeah, that one, it just, it's like you can just feel every scene where the actors are not in the room together. It feels just wildly misdirected pretty much the entire time, and like they sort of just made the movie in reshoots, and it's just letting go of Quicksilver was criminal. Like they desperately needed Evan Peters in there to liven that movie up. Yeah, I just really thought it was like a huge whiff, and the X3 or X-Men United or whatever it was called. Certainly not the gold standard of superhero movies, but yeah, it just felt like everything about studio sort of fiddling that I don't like in these movies. So yeah, it's just it's clearly a wildly compromised movie, and I just can't roll with it. So that's it was a sad note to end that franchise on, and I actually was quite looking forward to seeing it. So there you go.
Yeah, I agree with you. And like the X-Men series is fascinating because it wildly fluctuates in quality, like from movie to movie. Like you mentioned, like Days of Future Past came out and it's a masterpiece. And then Apocalypse comes out and it's very bad, most people feel. And then like Logan and Deadpool come out and they're masterpieces. And then Dark Phoenix comes out and it's bad. And it's largely a lot of the same creative forces, especially in like the main, a lot of Bryan Singer and his sidekick.
Well, like, this guy, Simon Kinberg, who directed Dark Phoenix and wrote it, he wrote like most of the previous X-Men movies.
Yeah, it's just confusing as hell.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like a lot of the same creative guys, and yet it varies wildly from movie to movie if it's going to be good or not. It's a weird franchise. But this is probably the worst of the bunch, probably.
I never saw this one. I mean, this came out way after I was tapped out on, Marvel movies in general. I mean, especially an X-Men movie of all franchises. Like this would not have been the movie to get me into theaters in 2019. To be honest, I grew up a DC zombie, not a Marvel zombie.
Really?
And as close as I got to X-Men was like, I liked the Fantastic Four as a kid, but I never liked the X-Men. They felt kind of cornball to me, and I didn't like their Fox cartoon.
Wow.
So good to know, I guess, that I don't have to check out Dark Phoenix. I liked First Class. I saw that.
Yeah, that was good. I didn't know you were a DC man, Mr. Byro.
I'm a DC's man.
Me too.
Well, that's a great segue because my next movie is a DC movie.
Oh, I wonder if it's the same movie that I got.
Well, I wouldn't think so. I don't think you've seen this movie.
Okay.
Also, I really hope that you don't have what I think you might have. You're bad. But this is a movie that I know you would not like. It's the Joss Whedon cut of Justice League.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
I think because you don't like Joss Whedon in general, you probably wouldn't like this. And I think that you wouldn't like this because it's just very bad. On top of that, like this is like the worst of all situations where it's like Zack Snyder started making this and then he left the project. And then Joss Whedon was brought in to like kind of fix it and make it fun and not a big pile of shit. And like all the other
Joss
Zack Snyder
Whedon
movies
is not a good director.
Boy, he's not the best director. He's a wonderful writer. He's got a good kind of eye, but he's not technically adept like some of these guys out there. So, that's what he's up to. But it's the worst of all the situations because it's like the main bones of this movie is like a Zack Snyder thing. So like it's just inherently bad and faulty. It starts on faulty ground, and then Joss Whedon kind of was brought in at the very end where like he couldn't really do much to fix it other than add a bunch of jokes that aren't really great. So it's like you got the worst qualities of both of these guys smushed together, and it just it's very bad. So I feel like you would not care for this movie.
I would imagine that I would not care for this movie. Still haven't seen it. I didn't even like that Wonder Woman movie, which I think is probably the DC movie of the past decade or so that people like the most, maybe, potentially.
Mm-hmm. I think
I thought it was lame. I'm sure that this is bad.
How do you feel about this one, Jackson?
I saw it opening weekend, and to be perfectly honest, I think most of it kind of was like Men in Black neuralized from my brain. I remember there was like a clever line from Ben Affleck where he says something is definitely bleeding, which I thought was kind of funny. But I don't know. It's a good sort of case study in like you should have one person in the kitchen preparing your meal versus the other. It's like trying to retrofit it into being like a Marvel thing clearly didn't work and no one liked it. So I feel like it's a pretty widely disliked movie though. Am I wrong?
I don't think anybody on earth likes this.
Yeah.
I'm Joss Whedon's biggest fan in the world, and I don't like this thing. So I don't know who would like it.
Well, there
Still
you have it.
Still made 660 million buckaroos at the box office.
Those are some big buckaroos.
Pretty big. Yeah.
Maybe, someone liked it. I don't know who.
Ben Affleck's parents liked it.
Probably.
Well, I'm curious to know what movie you thought would be my bad, Bowman.
Well, you foreshadowed that you might be picking Watchmen somewhere on this list. So I'm worried that you got Watchmen on your bad list. Because A, that would be heartbreaking because it's a good movie. And B, I could swear that you like that movie. So I don't know. So I'm excited to find out what you're going to pick.
Well, I did like that movie. I grew up loving the comic, loved Alan Moore, loved America's Best Comics and everything that he did. Before and after all that. And like I said, I did love Watchmen. Saw it theatrically, really enjoyed it. I think I caught it on home video once or so, relatively quickly after it came out. Enjoyed it. And then this past, it was like December or something, maybe January this past winter, I rewatched it. Still loved it. Thought it was great. It's not my bad.
There we go.
My bad is The Batman from 2022, a movie that I've probably talked about enough, and so it comes as no surprise that I hate this, but I really do feel like this movie's release may have been the straw that broke the camel's back in terms of me like completely disconnecting with the mainstream, presumably younger audience, because people are into this movie. It's very popular. It's highly rated online. It's got like a 4.0 on Letterboxd. And for the life of me, I cannot even fathom a world in which anyone was the least bit entertained by this movie. It looks aesthetically bad, like it was made by people who don't know how cameras work. The characters are all ludicrously low energy mopedopes that I don't give half a shit about. And nothing fun or interesting happens for 3 fucking hours. It's just a bunch of scenes where Batman's like pointing a flashlight around and then like picking up sepia toned photographs from the ground, and kind of like furrowing his brow at them. I don't get it, and I think I'm relatively on the outside with this. And the fact that the whole world seems to love this movie so much that we're going to get another one of these will always baffle me. I'll be baffled to my grave about this one.
Yeah, I saw this opening day and I thought it was. Well, I think we maybe talked about it. The highlight is my sweet boy Colin Farrell, of course, um, possibly the greatest working actor under 50 years old.
But he's not even in the movie. I mean, he's in a suit that's in the movie, but you don't even see the man, you know?
But you watching that, you don't get any trace of him as Colin Farrell. It's like, sure, he's under makeup, but it's still just like he's not playing himself in that. You're just like, who is this? It's like a new actor was made just for that movie, and I really think he's just a phenomenal performer. This one, it was like it was very kind of like in the middle for me. Like it didn't give me any strong feelings, but I certainly respect what you're saying on that end.
I respect it too.
Yeah, it just it seemed like an odd thing to kind of adapt, like Long Halloween, and like kind of do some year one stuff. And I really wish they would just stick to like one of these stories when they go and do them, or do the Tim Burton thing and just do something totally new that's not really based on any of the other entries. So
Do you have a Batman story that you would like to see adapted to screen, and is it Hush?
Oh, well, I mean, that would be a good one. The one I always thought, actually, funny enough, they sort of did in Mask of the Phantasm, is Batman Year 2, where they did a little bit of it, or it was certainly inspired by it, but it's kind of nothing like the book. But the hook of it is Batman has to team up with a guy who killed his parents to go after this like new kind of vigilante. And I always just thought it was a phenomenal story that I don't know why they've never touched, but that's one. There's a ton of them. I mean, I think a lot of the Denny O'Neil, Jim Aparo stuff was pretty top notch.
Maybe that Death of Robin from was it the late 80s or so?
Death in the Family, I think, could be good. Although I really like the Under the Red Hood, where he comes back as this like brutal vigilante who's willing to do all the stuff that Batman doesn't. I think that could be really good. Some of the early Tim Drake Robin stuff. I don't know. I mean, I wish they would put like a teen Robin in some of these movies again, rather than just act like he doesn't exist. But I mean, it'd also be kind of cool if they actually just did a period piece, like set in the 70s. I guess Joker sort of did that, but I always liked the kind of like, wet Gotham City with these like bright colors, and it looked very noirish, kind of like you just mentioned. And they haven't quite done that in the movies yet, so we'll see. Maybe we'll get that at some point.
It is weird that we've had like almost a dozen Batman movies, and not a single one of them is based on any Batman comic.
Yeah, it's like there's no Dark Knight Returns. I mean, I guess they have like the animated ones, but yeah, it's kind of bizarre.
Well, I think we're flipping over now to the realm of the ugly, whatever that means. I mean, I guess it could mean anything. But Jackson Stewart, what is your ugly comic book movie?
Well, mine, it's a real deep cut. I almost feel kind of bad for bashing this, but it's the Generation X Fox TV movie from back in the 90s.
I don't even know if I know about this.
Well, it has Matt Frewer from Max Headroom, and well, he's been in a number of things, certainly, but it basically came when it was just this like Sahara of like superhero movies or shows. Like there was pretty much nothing you could get your hands on. That was when I was really into it. I was like reading comics every week and, basically just had to go back and rewatch like Batman the Animated Series or, the new Superman show at the time. But this show or this movie that came on in Fox, I remember like recording it on the VCR and I was just like, oh, cool. There's like an X-Men show. And even though it's Generation X or whatever, and it just was dreadful, and I mean, it was a pretty low bar for me to clear something with me when I was, like 12 or 13. But I just really didn't like the look of it. I didn't like the story. It just all of it just seemed made by people that had no sort of affinity for that stuff. And actually an odd sort of, the main thing I'd probably compare it to is Super Mario, the John Leguizamo, Bob Hoskins movie, where it's like these people clearly just don't like the material. And I don't know if that was executives or what, but it always left a pretty bad impression on me.
Yeah, I've been wanting to see this, like in the last 10 years or something like that. But I remember it coming on as a kid, and not being interested in it because it was at a time where like there was like 30 X-Men titles, and like I just had no idea what was happening with the X-Men at any point in time. Like it was just like so fucking many of them that I just ignored them. So I wasn't interested in this.
Yeah, to me, Generation X seemed like one of those comics that was only created so that they could sell weird, like, fold-out covers and stuff to you, or, like, weird Chrome edition covers. Like, I don't know that actually had, like, a real fan base. Maybe it did. I don't know. But it just seemed like one of those weird
Well, they had, like, this huge glut of those that, like you guys were saying, but, like, there was, like, Excalibur, X-Force, Generation X. I think there was something, X Factor, I think was another one.
I mean, even like the New Mutants.
Yeah, and you're just like, Jesus, dude, like, how do you even keep track of this? And I think there are at least 2 X-Men titles going. So, and like the Wolverine solo comic. So, yeah, nutty times.
Well,
let's,
ugly.
Yeah, let's hear it.
This is one that this is a movie I like, but for you, it could be an ugly pick. I'd be really interested to hear your take on it, but I'm not certain that you would like it. You probably wouldn't like it, but I'd love to hear you talk about it. And that's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Ooh.
What are you, a comedian?
This movie is like directed by Sam Raimi, though he came in kind of late in the process. It was developed by Scott Derrickson, and then he left and Sam Raimi kind of took over. And it's sort of 40% feels like a Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie, or 20% feels like a Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie. 20% feels like an Evil Dead Army of Darkness movie. And 40%, or whatever the math comes out to, a large part of it feels like a normal Marvel movie. But it also has all that Sam Raimi shit in it. So as a Sam Raimi'sman, as an Evil Deadsman, I would be very interesting to see if there are any parts of this that you would like. I think that there would be. I think that there's at least one sequence that I think that you would find very fun, and there's a lot of like really cool visual touches in it. I mean, outside of the Guardians movies and maybe the Taika Waititi Thor movies, it's by far the coolest visual Marvel movie, like in years and years and years, because that Sam Raimi's got that good touch. So I'd be interested in hearing your take on it. But but you haven't seen this. Have you seen this, Jackson? How do you feel about this?
Yeah, I did. I actually saw it. I mean, any Sam Raimi thing he puts out, I'm going to be there opening day. But I kind of felt the way I did about a lot of the more recent Marvel stuff. It was like, it just, it was okay. Like there was some stuff I liked in it. I thought the Illuminati sequence was pretty fun. I liked him playing the musical notes with where he was like turning those into like magic spells. Like that was kind of fun and visually very appealing. But it was another one of these where it's like it did sort of vaporize after I watched it, like it's so I don't know. I'd actually be kind of curious to revisit it, especially with Sam Raimi's commentary, because those are always very entertaining. But yeah, I'm very in the middle on that one. Some stuff I liked, but did not leave a huge impression on me.
I have not seen this yet, but I did see like an excerpt. I saw that one scene where Doctor Strange is pressing those demonic incantations onto vinyl.
Oh yeah,
and that turned me off from the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
I might eventually see this. I still also have not seen the Wizard of Oz movie that Raimi made. I will always love Sam Raimi for the movies that he made when he was in his 20s, but it's pretty diminishing returns for me with that guy. Sadly, even the Spider-Man.
Spidey 3, dude.
I don't think the Spider-Man movies are that remarkable.
Oh, I love them.
No,
Spider-Man 3 is a masterpiece.
It's the best movie Spider-Man ever made.
I've actually never, I don't think I've seen 3. I've seen 1 and 2. And outside of the Randy Savage appearance, I was just kind of like, take it or leave it.
Oh, man. I'm a diehard fan of part 3. I actually almost put that on my good list, but it is an absolute delight.
I hated it when it first came out, but I don't know if it's that like I've recently sat through like 10 increasingly mediocre Marvel movies, but I like that movie a lot now. I think it holds up better than a lot of this newer stuff.
Yeah, I also just love the ideology that bad Peter Parker is like an emo dweeb. it's just it's like classic Raimi stuff going on in there, and I love Topher as Venom. I think he's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why people don't like that movie. I think it's delightful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, moving on from one legendary director to another, I've got an ugly pick that was directed by Steven Spielberg. You guys remember his comic book movie?
Ooh,
I think I do.
Written by Edgar Wright. It's a little movie called The Adventures of Tintin from 2011. And this was a series of comics by like a Belgian dude, right? I think he's Belgian, not French. If I get that wrong, I'm sure that
his name is Hergé.
Hergé, yeah. Which, whenever I confuse the Belgians for the French, I get a bunch of angry letters in my mailbox. So hopefully I didn't mischaracterize the man. But a European man who made these comics a long ass time ago that I got real into in my late teens and 20s. They have kind of a similar vibe to the best Uncle Scrooge comics. They're just kind of fun, like globe-trotting adventure kind of things. And I really love that like weird, simple line drawing art style that Hergé had. Kind of looks like, like an old newspaper strip or something, just very simple. But then you watch this movie, man, which I knew that I had to see, because I was such a Tintin fan. And it's got that fucking horrendous, uncanny valley, like I think mo-capped CGI that is not convincing whatsoever. And while I did like the movie overall, because I think it's a fun story, and I do recommend if you can get through that bad CGI art style, go see it. It's a fun little adventure movie. Man, it bums me out so hardcore that to this day, if you want to watch like a Tintin movie, I mean, I guess there are some like 2D animated ones from like the 70s or something that are okay, but I mean, this is what you're stuck with, is this horrendous, stuck in time CG from 2011 that just looks like garbage.
But on the other hand, it is very fun to say Hergé.
True.
Mm-hmm.
True, yeah. I've been considering changing my own name to Hergé.
Hergé Byron. It has a nice ring to it.
Have you guys ever gotten around to this one?
I did not. I liked I think wasn't there like a cartoon or something that used to air on like Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon or something in the like mid 90s?
I think Tintin's like firmly like a PBS character. That's probably where you saw him.
Yeah.
PBS character.
Yeah.
No, I think I could have sworn there was like some cartoon that I used to watch, and I always liked him and his dog, but I never got around to the movie. There's a bunch of crazy shit about Hergé, which I can't remember offhand, but I think he was like wasn't he like working with the Nazis or something insane like that?
Don't tell me this.
Oh, sorry. You might not have been. I might be mixing him up with Walt Disney.
Man. First working with
JK.
the Nazis and then working with Edgar Wright. What will this man not do?
It's anyone's guess. Well, he was apparently accused of it, but that
What
does
the
not.
fuck?
Yeah, well, doesn't mean. I probably shouldn't have opened that can of worms, but as far as this movie, though, I've not gotten around to it, and I'm not sure I will. It's just I'm not a big CGI head from that era.
Yeah, not a fan of the Polar Express.
I loved that book growing up, and then seeing what the movie was,
Yeah.
it was like, whoa, wow, that's like just way off. I can firmly say I will likely skip this.
I saw this and it sucks. It's a piece of crap.
Yeah. Did you like the adventure elements at least?
Yeah, there's like a couple of fun sequences and stuff, but yeah, I don't know. Tintin, he just like looks weird. You know?
Yeah, but
I don't know. He just doesn't
like
sit right with me.
Pompadour.
He's got that weird haircut.
Yeah, it's got like a little cow lick.
Yeah, he looks like that little like the artistic logo of Conan O'Brien. You know?
Yeah.
He kind of looks like that.
It's very on point.
Well, I think that is a segment, as the kids in the business say. That is a wrap on the good, the bad, and the ugly segment. We now know what the goodest, baddest, and ugliest comic book movies are.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Well, let's find out what the kids in Junk Food Dinnerland have to say. I don't know who I don't know who either of these folks are, so I'll play them without music. If these are music people, I apologize, but I don't think that they are. But here's the first one.
Hey there, Junk Food Dinner. What's your name now? Junk Food Supper. Yeah, I guess we're going to supper now. Parker, maybe Kevin, new guy. Yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to call and say, the new show. It's pretty impressive. You guys made the transition. It's great. And of course, I wanted to make a request that you maybe. Well, I've actually wanted to play a request. So I was like, hey, you guys should do that. The Jerry Springer, the movie that he did, Jerry Springer's Ringmaster. But he dead.
Oh. Was that it?
I think that's it. All right.
What a sour note to end that on.
Yeah. Well, thank you, caller. That is a good idea. I've been wanting to rewatch that movie now that Jerry Springer is dead. He's a Cincinnati legend, much like Kevin.
Big Dick Daddy from Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
I think that those movies.
Mayor of Cincinnati.
Those movies that came out around that time, there's a bunch of them where like they would take these weird fads from the 90s, but then put the real person in it and then pretend like it's real. Like that Jerry Springer movie, Spice World is like that. There's that Crocodile Hunter movie, The Jerky Boys. Like there's like a weird thing happening.
I forgot about the Jerky Boys movie. Wow.
Yeah, like they would just take these weird fads and make them a movie. They're fascinating to me.
Yeah, I do remember that Ringmaster was very, very badly reviewed by when did it come out in 98?
Yeah.
Siskel and Ebert, I think, gave it a real negative review.
I don't
And
think
it's probably-
I don't think I ever saw it.
Well, they might have even put it on their worst of the year list. Although it kind of blows my mind because to put in perspective how long ago Gene Siskel died, he did not make it to see The Phantom Menace when it was in theaters, which is kind of astounding. It's like he's, been gone for like 25 years at this point.
He's very lucky, if you ask me. He really lucked out.
Now, the reason that Gene Siskel didn't like the Ringmaster movie is that he preferred the Insane Clown Posse record instead.
Definitely.
I should see this. I have a kind of a vague curiosity about this Jerry Springer movie.
Well, there's some very funny clips of him floating around like that guy doing the Batman voice. Did I ever send you that, Parker? Oh man, it's this nerd who's talking about how his wife or his girlfriend is cheating on him with his best friend, and he like snaps and he goes into like Christian Bale in the Dark Knight mode, and he's this like probably like 110-pound nerd.
I'd say he's a hot piece of ass.
Yeah, you could say that. But it's a very amusing clip from that show that has made the rounds on social media.
Okay, I would like to see it. And here is the other voicemail we have.
Hey, Sean. Hey, Parker. Loving the new show format. Just wanted to let you know I really enjoy it. I especially like the end of each show when you guys sort of deliberate about what to pick for the next month. It's always very kind of exciting to hear your thought process out loud. And I'm looking forward to this week's show about Mask of the Phantasm. Fun little fact about that and my personal history. When I was a kid, my parents were really overprotective and kind of sheltered me from a lot of stuff. And I had actually seen a clip of Batman the Animated Series at a neighbor's house and didn't have any context for it and ended up having a nightmare about Batman killing Jesus.
Whoa.
Which is something that my friends and I still laugh about to this day. Also, my parents, like we never went to the movie store, but my parents went to a Blockbuster and rented a copy of Mask of the Phantasm, and then just these two adult people just watched it by themselves. And I asked them if I could watch it, and they said no, that it was not for kids. It was a grown-up movie. And like they weren't, as far as I know, they weren't watching it to like screen it to see if it was okay for me to watch. They just had never planned on letting me watch it. One more note real quick about The Blob. I know I'm a little bit late on this, but Sean, I'm curious if you also thought about Twin Peaks watching The Blob. I found the similarities to be really unavoidable. The way it blends like 50s and 80s aesthetics. Also all of like the character archetypes. You have like the football quarterback and the cheerleader and like the daughter's father. I think one of the characters even has like the same name. I found the similarities to be really, really striking when I watched The Blob, and it made me wonder if it was an influence on Lynch or Frost. But anyway, yeah, love the show, even though I'm not the biggest wrestling fan or any kind of wrestling fan. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what comes next. Bye.
Thank you for this voicemail and for the nice words. And I enjoy this wrestling-free episode. One of the few so far. And that's interesting about Twin Peaks. Now that he mentions it, I do feel like there was sort of a Twin Peaksy vibe to The Blob.
Yeah, I never connected that, but for sure.
Yes, same. I never really, I don't think I thought about it when I was watching it, but thinking now just about like the way that those nighttime forest scenes are shot, with the, what's his face on the motorcycle, with the headlight going through the woods like that. Yeah, that's very Kevin Dillon, very Twin Peaky.
Yeah, he's a lot like Bobby on that show.
Exactly, yeah.
Very cool.
And again, what a great movie, that Plop.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
It is top notch.
I agree. I do agree.
I'm very fascinated by this guy's crazy dream about Batman killing Jesus, though.
I like this dream. This is the best dream we've heard about since Kevin's dream about fighting his dad.
Oh.
This is the Batman we're talking about here.
That's awesome.
Well, I think that's a good segue to move into taking a break to recharge our batteries, and then when we come back, we're going to be talking about Batman: Mask of the Phantasm. So stick around.
This Christmas, for the first time, America's most exciting and legendary motion picture hero comes to the screen like you've never seen him before.
The Bat!
In an all-new, larger-than-life feature film. Now, the Dark Knight confronts his newest and most menacing villain.
Your angel of death awaits.
The Phantasm.
I want you.
And faces his greatest danger.
Can't be too careful with all those weirdos around.
A soaring new adventure. Batman: Mask.
Okay, we're back.
Welcome back to Junk Fudgelitzy. We're going to be talking about Batman: The Mask of the Phantasm, a 1993 movie. Jackson actually picked this one, but I was very cool with that as the kickoff to anime, which, we're inclusive here. All animation from every country is invited, not just anime. Anyway, so this is a 1993 movie based on the Batman the Animated Series, which was going strong at this point. They had just wrapped up season 1. I believe this came out between season 1 and season 2. But season 1 was like 60 episodes or something. So it's basically like 5 seasons worth of shows in one season. So they were a well-oiled machine by the time they decided to do this.
Especially for a cartoon, that feels like so much effort. You know?
No kidding.
Yeah, and it was a lot of effort. In my research, I found that they made this movie pretty much like the production part of this was only 8 months long, which is incredible for an animated movie.
Wow. Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, they wanted to put something out. Warner Brothers wanted to actually capitalize on the success of the Tiny Toons straight-to-video movie. And so they looked at the other stuff that they had, and they said, let's do something based on the Batman animated series.
We all remember the earth-shattering success of the Tiny Toons straight-to-video movie.
Indeed.
What was it, Buster's... what the hell was it called? I actually did watch that movie, but whatever.
It was Buster's Day Out.
No, it was something about like a summer vacation or something. Like My Summer Vacation or...
Yeah, that's it.
That.
With Plucky Duck.
I think so. I liked Plucky Duck.
I did too.
So they wanted to recreate that. They approached these Batman guys, Bruce Timm being chief among them, the creator of the show. And they said, give us a straight-to-video movie we can put out in like a year. And then so they got started on it. But once Warner Brothers read the script, they liked it a great deal. And they said, actually, instead of doing a straight-to-video movie, we're going to give you a couple more $1 million, and this is going to go theatrical. But we're not going to give you any extra time. So
what the fuck?
So they had to put this together in 8 months. And And they used the extra money that they gave them to do the really cool opening credit sequence that is all CG. And also they put it into the big lavish fight scene at the end.
Oh.
This is only the fourth theatrical Batman. And really actually only, or not the fourth, but one of four. And really only two of them count because two of them are like Fathom events, Killing Joke and Return of the Caped Crusaders, so they don't count. And then Lego Batman was the other one. This also came out right between, I think, Batman Returns and Batman Forever, which it's weird that even back then, Warner Brothers was just throwing as many different continuities out onto the screen as possible. But as far as the plot of this, Batman is visited by his old girlfriend, Andrea Beaumont, played by Dana Delaney. Batman, of course, being played by Kevin Conroy, who some people would say is the greatest of all Batmans.
Oh, yeah.
I think people with discerning taste feel that way. I think I feel that way, perhaps. And I'm not even the biggest animated series fan.
He's a tough dude to beat in that. But yeah, R.I.P. Kevin Conroy.
He's visited by this old flame who's back in town. We get some flashbacks as to how they met, which also ties into Batman's origin story, which I don't think that the animated series had told that his origin story by this point. And it turns out her father got a little bit involved with the mob. One mobster may or may not have been the Joker. Spoiler alert, it was the Joker. And was killed after getting mixed up with those guys. And then Batman's life is kind of turned upside down as he, considers giving up his life of being Batman to get back involved with his old flame. And
next thing you know, he's boning this chick.
And he does bone this chick, actually, in this PG movie. It's very explicit. You see a cum shot and everything. It's really wild.
There is consensual panty sniffing.
There is that. And so this is just kind of about Batman or, Bruce Wayne kind of dealing with his grief and dealing with whether or not he can move past it and be with somebody. All the while, a new superhero or supervillain or anti-hero is on the scene, Phantasm, who is going around killing gangsters. So this is very good, I feel. But Jackson, how do you feel about this movie? You're the one who picked it. How much do you love this?
Well, I am a huge fan of this movie. I like the caller who just chimed in. Loved Batman the Animated Series. I actually went to go see this with my dad back at I think it might have been like the Dollar Theater or something, way back when. And it just left a huge impression on me. And basically, since I've seen this movie, it's sort of like hit this high of like Batman storytelling that I don't think they've really ever replicated since, where it has all the cool noirish stuff. There's some genuine emotion in it. All the performances are top notch. The story is really compelling. The mystery is great. The misdirection of who the Phantasm is terrific. And
but is it the misdirection is one of the things about this movie that I think is really questionable because
maybe. Well, go ahead. Actually,
well, they use Stacy Keach's voice for the Phantasm and his general body type.
Yes,
and it's like you can't use the voice of another character for your secret character. Like that is a misdirect that is just not fair to the audience.
Well, maybe, but I did like for the target audience of this. I think it totally fits, but maybe I mean, yeah, it is a little bit of a cheat, but
I mean, just use any other voice and I don't have this qualm. But the fact that it's another character in the movie, like, you are setting me up to believe he's the identity, of course.
Totally.
It's just not fair. And then I look like an idiot.
But
I'm talking to my friends, and saying the wrong things and I look like a dummy over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, basically, go ahead.
Well, in my research, I learned that one of the big influences for this, in terms of other movies, what in addition to Citizen Kane, they said was Hitchcock, and Hitchcock would kind of use cheats like that too. Like
totally.
Specifically, Psycho is the one I can think of where you hear Mother's voice and stuff like that. So I don't know if that was intentionally something that they were taking from Hitchcock, but I think it fits with more.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, those guys have seen just absolutely everything, and I think they're pretty familiar with those techniques. I don't mind a good switcheroo if it's effective. I mean, look at Pamela Voorhees in the OG Friday the 13th. I mean, she comes out of nowhere. It's like that's like the ultimate cheat, but as soon as she's on screen, you're all in.
Especially because we've been subjected to 90 prior minutes in which you see like Tom Savini's hairy arms in the place of what is supposed to be her, That was not her bicep wielding that axe,
Nope.
Mm-hmm. Also, another thing about this mystery that I uncovered in my research was that when the toy line for this movie was released, which, the toys came out a few months before the movie did, the Phantasm toy came without the mask. So it was just the person who it is, which, spoiler alert here, skip ahead if you don't want to know the mystery. It's the old flame of Bruce Wayne's. So it was pretty much spoiled for anybody, like for its target audience anyway.
Yeah. I mean, although weirdly, I don't think I never saw those toys when they came out. I was like a total fiend for any Batman animated toys, but I mean, overall, it's just, I think the direction's really strong. Like, I love this sequence. I just love like where they kind of put this chronologically in his career, where it was like right at this sort of fork in the road of like, oh, I don't really want to do this. I want to move on with my life and have like a real relationship, and kind of like move past this thing that sort of defined me since my childhood. And when he doesn't get that, I think it's a huge tragedy. And it's a very like bold approach to the material, because I mean, generally it's like all of our ideas about Batman are pretty set in stone, but I mean, giving the guy like a real kind of like match, and not having it just be, whatever fling he's got, I thought was really cool. And, I think Dana Delaney is terrific as Andrea Beaumont. I love all the old dudes as the various mobsters like Abe Vigoda and John P. Ryan. And Stacy Keach, obviously.
Dick Miller. He's in there.
Dick Miller, too. Yeah, I mean, it's like it's a really impressive cast that they pulled together for it. But yeah, I mean, it's just, it's sort of like the most nuanced Batman story in any piece of media that I've seen. Even though, I'm still loyal to the 89 Tim Burton one. It's just it just does such a good job at breaking down the character and kind of having him go this route as being something dark and upsetting, which I like that a lot. But yeah, it's one I've rewatched it several times over the years, and it's just always really held up. Like, the art is just exquisite, and I really think you can't mess with this one, whether you're a fan of old Batsy or not.
Yeah, I never saw this during its original run. As a kid, I didn't really like that Batman animated series that much.
Wow.
I felt like the tone was just too different from the Tim Burton movies, and it was different from the comics that I was reading, and it was different from the 1960s TV show that I would watch sometimes with my dad. And I was just like, I don't think I got room in my life for four competing tones of Batman. You know what I mean? And this was just one property too many for me to ever really fully get into. And so, I knew about this movie. I was curious about this movie for a long time. At some point in my early 20s, my friend Orion sat me down and said, "You got to see this thing." And so we watched it, and I liked it. But that was the last time that I saw this. Probably the last time that I saw any of the Batman animated stuff. That I feel like I probably should go back to, because it's crazy to think that this is now like the 30-year anniversary of this movie. So like to young people today, this is, it's similar to like when we were young in the 80s watching movies from the 50s. Like
Totally.
That's what this feels like for them, which seems absolutely bonkers to me that much time has passed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it feels very fresh to me, but it isn't. I mean, it's like it's a big chunk of time has gone by. But yeah, I mean, I'd be very curious to see if you guys or Sean, if you end up watching any of the episodes of the show, I could turn you on to some pretty good ones out there.
Yeah, I probably will eventually. But I mean, for this movie, I will say I'm probably not as over the moon for it as you two guys are. I did like this, and I remembered kind of the basic details of the story coming in, so I wasn't too surprised by like the reveals or anything like that. But I think I remembered in my mind that this animation was maybe a little higher quality than it actually is. Watching it now with all the pixels and being an older person who has seen a lot of cartoons, some of this animation is actually more like Hanna-Barbera-y than I remembered. Like, there's a lot of shots of these city streets in Gotham that are completely empty. Like, there's nobody walking around in this bustling metropolis. Or sometimes, you'll catch a glimpse of like a couple people in the background standing on a sidewalk, completely motionless, like they just didn't have the time to animate them. And I get it. They were under, constraints and all that. And I think you can also maybe say that some of this is like limited by design, like they were going for like a Fleischer Studios kind of look.
Oh,
maybe.
Totally.
And I think it also is probably influenced by like Japanese anime of the time. It doesn't look at all like the comic books of the time or any other really American cartoons of the time. So I think that is to its benefit that it's unique, but I think you can also, watch this and tell pretty quickly that this was not originally intended to be like a theatrical feature, that Warner Brothers saw the dollar signs and they were willing to put this out in theaters. But this, it is a kind of home video level feature, I think. And it feels kind of like it's aimed at children, compared to something like the Tim Burton Batmans, which are so, weird and gothic and have all this outlandish production design. These are kids movies or this is a kids movie that is, I think relatively well executed. The voice acting is great. Kevin Conroy is very good at Batman. He's not doing as much of like the whispered death metal growl that a lot of people do with the Batman character. So you can actually understand him, which is good.
Yeah.
And I love his Bruce Wayne, because like Batman is clearly like a sick and twisted dude. So I really like when he presents as like a wholesome, nerdy kind of a guy, like sort of like how Adam West would portray Batman. There's a bit of that in Kevin Conroy's Bruce Wayne here, where he's very just kind of wholesome, and I like that about him. And of course, Mark Hamill is incredible as the Joker. This is the role that the guy was born to play. Much more so even than Luke Skywalker. I think this is his best work.
Oh, totally.
And I think, in fact, this movie is a little bit boring until he shows up, it's not too long into the movie, but it does kind of open up with a string of action scenes where you don't really know who the bad guys are. And at least for me, I'm like not caring that much about those early action scenes until the Joker shows up. And then we get to hang out with him at that fucking incredible Gotham's World Fair environment that I just love so much. You know, that's based on the 1939 and 1964 New York World's Fairs.
Oh, yeah.
That stuff is all incredible.
Yeah, it's like the robot housewife just chopping vegetables and his little dog. It's a blast.
I gotta get a robot housewife to make me bologna sandwiches whenever I want. You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking when I'm watching this. I also really like that scene about halfway into this where Bruce Wayne is at his parents' gravestones and he's kind of having that moral quandary, and he's talking about, you know, he doesn't know if he has the need for vengeance anymore. And I thought that stuff was really, you know, powerful, especially for something, you know, that feels like kind of a kid's movie. What else about this? Oh, there's a big WB logo on the top of a building during a fight scene with the Joker. And it made me think that there is a possibility that Batman was perhaps, you know, in between scenes, staying up late at night watching the Steve Harvey show on the WB. This is a universe where Warner Brothers exists, you know, so that's what I would have been doing.
Definitely.
But yeah, I mean, overall, I think that this is a fun little time waster. I think people who claim that this is the best Batman movie overall are kind of full of themselves. Like, I like this too, but it's not as good as the Tim Burton Batmans. I don't even think it's as good as the Adam West Batman movie. Ooh. It's certainly not as good as The Dark Knight. But it's cool. You know, they do some neat stuff with all this speckled granite in the backgrounds, and they do some cool stuff with like shadows where like people's faces will like disappear into a shadow. But yeah, for my money, I think I would rather have this look applied to Superman. I don't think that this look feels exactly like Batman to me. But I did like this. And, you know, I think we may have just all graded this on a bit of a curve where 80s and 90s cartoons were generally pretty bad, especially the ones coming out of America. And so this came out and it's like, well, this doesn't suck like every other cartoon did for the past 15 years. So
yeah,
I give them credit for that. And I'm curious to see, you know, what they did later on when they were maybe under less time pressure to put something together.
Parker?
Well, I would actually take this over the Tim Burton movies. I think this is better than those. I also think it feels more like an adult movie than those. Those feel very cartoony to me in a way that this doesn't. So it's interesting that they came out around the same time. Like, they're also kind of similar. Like, both movies, both the Tim Burton one, the first Tim Burton one, and this give kind of backstories and origin stories to the Joker, which the comics never did that I know of, really. At least up until this point. Or I guess Killing Joke maybe kind of started that off, I guess. But you know, yeah, it was kind of controversial when Tim Burton did it. So it was interesting that these guys also did it. Although I think it's done better here. Because you don't, you know, go too far into it. Like, really all that's revealed about the Joker here is that he used to be in the Mafia, which I guess makes sense. Like, I mean, you know, he's the clown prince of crime. I guess it would make sense that he'd would be involved in crime as an origin. But
I was relieved that they didn't feel the need to include Oracle in this, who I don't hate Oracle or anything, but I feel like can sometimes be a distraction where it's like, isn't Batman like, you know, smart enough that he can solve these crimes on his own? Like, does he really need to be like phoning home every 10 minutes to like get more info?
Yeah. I don't think Oracle was in the animated series, or at least not at this point. You would know better than I.
Yeah, it was mainly Batgirl because she, I think Bruce Timm really didn't like that she got paralyzed, so he totally avoided that in any of his stuff up until that Killing Joke adaptation. So he was just a big fan of hers and then didn't want her to be crippled, so or paralyzed rather, and that's why.
That makes sense. But yeah, I agree. She's in the those really good Batman video games. In every 5 minutes, she talks to you about your next thing, and it's like
she's like
like,
Clippy, basically. She's like the Microsoft Office Clippy.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's like, I'm the world's greatest detective here. Let me do my job. Oracle.
And you got those Riddler trophies you got to get.
Mm-hmm. Those are good games.
Definitely.
But yeah, I think that, I mean, without a doubt, this is the best Bruce Wayne movie. Like, even if you're not into the Batman part of this and not into the mystery part of this, like, this is the only movie of like the 10, theatrical Batman movies that treats Bruce Wayne as a character, except for like maybe Batman Begins and maybe Batman Forever. They kind of do.
Those do, I would say, but not anywhere near as well as they handle it in here.
Yeah. So if you're a Bruce fan, this is the movie for you, I would say.
I will say, I'm glad that they finally found a way to work in this entirely original plot point where there's a villain that other people are confusing for Batman. Whoa.
Yes.
I never thought of that.
Well,
it happens,
It does. It does indeed.
That's another part of this that feels very Hitchcock, like doppelganger-y.
I think it's also the plot of every episode of the 1960s TV show. It was always like, is that Egghead or is it Batman? Oh, I guess it's Egghead.
Really? Like,
not specifically Egghead, but
yeah.
It did happen.
We love Egghead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's kind of a Batman thing too. I mean, Azrael and Man Bat kind of do that regularly.
Man Bat definitely does, but it's it's reliable. I think it's a good plot device.
Yeah. Let's see. I love the end of this. Like, there's like so much like symbolism going on in the end that I really appreciate. Like the stuff with the World's Fair that you mentioned. Like, I love Batman and Joker being like these huge figures in this miniature Gotham. Like, I just like the visual metaphor of that. I think is great because they're always like kind of fighting over the city like that. So I like that a lot. And also that scene, they included that where Batman and Joker are like huge figures over the skyline as an homage to Dick Sprang, who would often draw them like that on the covers of his books. And Dick Sprang may be the best Batman artist, so I'm glad that they included that.
Better than Neil Adams. You're out of your mind.
I
Neil
said
Adams
maybe.
My favorite's Jim Aparo, but I really like Neil Adams too.
Well, he's very good. Pretty much all the best artists have done Batman, so it's kind of
the Frank Miller stuff's really good too.
Oh,
Frank Miller's good. Jim Lee is good.
Jim Lee's that great.
Some cute stuff. But I like Dick Sprang's Joker. He's probably my favorite Joker.
Yeah, I could roll with that.
He's a good Joker. His Two-Face is good too. But
absolutely.
You don't like that OG Bob Kane, Bill Finger Joker that looks like, I don't know, some kind of bizarre abomination?
Not too much.
Yeah, I mean,
real scary.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, who drew that though? I mean, it definitely wasn't Bob Kane. It might have. I wonder, was it Dick Sprang? I don't know. There's a whole nutty sort of timeline on who did what on those early Batman books, because it was like very clear Bob Kane didn't do any of it, and I think did Bill Finger. Wasn't he? He was a writer primarily, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Maybe
So,
Jerry Robinson might have
that might be it. That might
drawn
be
it. Yeah.
That sounds right.
And I also did want to mention that this show is really cool in that rather than animating on white paper, like pretty much every show has done since the history of animation, everything for Batman, the animated series, is done on black paper, which I think gives it like a really cool moody look and makes the shadows just like so much darker than they would be otherwise. And I think it's really cool looking.
Hell yeah.
And I don't know, Joker rules, like you guys said. Like, he's so scary in this, and he's like so such a perfect Joker because like he's very menacing. Like there's a scene where like he's talking to one of the mafia guys and he gets really upset and like the background goes red, like an Argento movie or something, and you think he's going to do something, very violent, but then he just like kind of makes a joke like that's very intimidating instead. And like I love that. And like there's this other scene where like he's fighting Phantasm and like he's reaching over to grab a weapon and there's like a big chunk of bologna and there's also like a cleaver and he grabs the bologna, like,
oh yeah.
So it's like, even when he might be getting choked to death, he thinks of the funny thing to do. Like, I just love that so much about him.
Yeah. No, he's pretty top notch in this.
That scene where the one guy can't stop laughing because he's encountered the Joker and he's in the hospital and stuff and he still can't stop laughing. I thought that was really effective and like kind of scary to the point of like, you could imagine what that would feel like if you just couldn't stop laughing,
Oh yeah. There's a bit in that too that is so funny and effective when Batman shows up and he's like, oh no, like he's like starting to giggle like right when he shows up. It's pretty great. But yeah, I mean that sounds like a just horrendously painful thing to experience. So yeah, I'm with you there.
Yeah. And then Joker props up a guy's corpse and then uses it as a trap and blows it up, which is something that they would not have gotten away with on the animated show, they said. So they were kind of pushing the envelope here by having Joker be a bit more violent than normal.
Indeed.
So yeah, I think this is really good. Definitely not my favorite Batman movie, but definitely better than at least half the Batman movies, I would say.
Did you see on the IMDb trivia who performed the end credit song, I Never Even Told You?
Oh, I did.
I didn't see, no.
Well, it's a rare singing performance by Tia Carrere.
I did not know that. That is interesting.
Yeah, kind of weird, right?
It's so... Yeah, that was one, because I remember seeing it in the theaters. I was like, what the hell is this song? Because it was like so like not Batman-ish, but I think they would do these things back in the day where they were like, oh, we'll just put whatever person we're trying to blow up and give like a pop singer career. We'll throw their song over the end credits of this thing, and that had to have been the case on this one.
Is this the same year as Wayne's World?
I think it was the year after.
The year after? Yeah. So, I mean...
She's
big.
Red hot then, though.
Yeah. Speaking of musicians involved in this, the chorus that does the Batman theme at the beginning, Hans Zimmer was one of the session players. He didn't write it.
Really?
He performed on it, yeah.
You didn't have to tell me. I would recognize those signature Hans Zimmer licks anywhere.
I thought so. I did think that you would catch that. But yeah, this movie is very fun. I like it a great deal. So
we were talking earlier about how cool Mark Hamill is as a voice actor, but I got another piece of trivia on here from the Internet Movie Database, which is that apparently Hamill went to a screening at a local theater, I'm guessing in Los Angeles, during its release. There were only a few people in attendance, and so he asked them to sit with him before the film started.
Really?
Seems like a cool guy. Can you imagine showing up to see this in the theaters? You get to sit with Luke Skywalker?
It'd be pretty fun. A friend of mine did a movie with him, and actually, here's a funny little anecdote. He met with him, and Mark Hamill was like, "Why do you want me to be in this movie?" And my buddy said, because of the Joker. And then that made him do the movie, because he just sort of assumed he was going to say something about Star Wars or whatever. But he holds this in pretty high regard from what I can tell. So, and he's a very hard person to... I don't see anyone topping his voice in our lifetime, but
he's not still doing it, right?
He officially retired after Kevin Conroy died.
Yeah.
Okay. Which that was recently, right? It was last year or something.
He died. I think he died in November. So yeah, he was. Yeah, which it was kind of shocking because I think he'd just written like a new Batman comic, but kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah. He came back for a couple of those video games, the Arkham games, and then he did Killing Joke, right? Like I think that was like his last thing.
Well, he and there's apparently this like new game that he put his voice on. It was like some Suicide Squad game or something.
Oh yeah.
So that's his last performance, but who knows when that'll be out.
Apparently, Mark Hamill portrayed the Joker in a few Batman-themed video games, including the Sega CD version of The Adventures of Batman and Robin, which was later used to create a lost episode of the animated series.
Really?
That sounds like I might want to watch that.
Yeah, I want to check that out. I think I remember that. I don't know if I played it, but I remember the cover. Robin's on it.
Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah, it's all coming back to me.
Final bit of trivia that I had on this one is apparently when they reviewed the film for the show, Siskel and Ebert regretted not seeing it in its theatrical release because they liked it. Siskel in particular liked the film.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty fun review too if you feel like actually that'd be a good thing to throw over this while in the intro or outro, because he says some very complimentary things about it. I think he went as far as to say they made a huge mistake not seeing it in the theaters.
Yeah. Well, actually, I do have one small clip from their review. Here it is.
This is the Batman we're talking about here.
Kevin, too.
I think that wraps it up then for Batman Mask of the Phantasm. And for the entire episode, I suppose.
The entire episode? Or do you have no interest in knowing what we'll be reviewing next week?
No, this is the best part from the voicemails I've heard. So I'm very interested in what anime feature you'll be picking for next week.
Well, I'm pleased to report that I completely forgot that this was part of the show, even though I should have known it by now. We've been doing a few of these, and it's been my responsibility before.
And someone, reminded us just 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, I think I remembered it while, that voicemail was playing. And then by the time we got to the break, I had completely forgotten. So I'm not prepped, but I do know that it is anime. And I've got 2 animated movies in my mind. And I guess maybe because you didn't get a chance technically to pick this movie. Technically, this is Jackson's pick. I'll let you pick between these 2 movies, Bowman. Let's see which of these 2 appeals to you the most. And they're very different, but the first one is Tokyo Godfathers, which is, I think, is it the only Satoshi Kon movie that we have not reviewed on the show? He's the guy that did Perfect Blue and Paprika, Millennium Actress.
Ooh.
A great Japanese anime director who died, sadly, at a pretty young age. But we've never done Tokyo Godfathers, a movie that I love.
Well, it seems like this then might be kind of appropriate because this director's work is where Christopher Nolan gets all of his ideas.
Is that true?
I mean, he ripped off Paprika and Perfect Blue a lot for Inception, and right, like that's like the thing that everybody says he likes.
I thought it was Aronofsky.
I think he does too. I think everybody does.
I think
that there's stuff in Inception that's like just straight stolen from this guy, like shot for shot.
You're saying that he incepted some of the plot into his own movie.
So.
Okay.
I do think so.
Well, before you settle on Tokyo Godfathers from 2003, what if I told you the other option was 2018's Shrek Retold, which we've talked about. We've talked about a little bit before in the past, and I've alluded to it. It's It's a fan-made, reanimated collab film based on Shrek.
Oh, dear.
Featuring the work of over 200 animators, each contributing a portion of the film.
Are there any notable animators in there that I may have heard of?
I know that DJ Doug Pound is on the soundtrack, and David Lee Bahart is also on the soundtrack.
Oh.
As for the animators, I don't know. I don't think so.
It looks like they're working on a sequel. I say let's go with Shrek. We'll get that. It'll be perfect to get the Zoomer demographic involved in listening to Junk Food Supper. We need those Zoomers, and Zoomers love Shrek. And it just sounds interesting to me. I think we've talked about it. Like there's like a RoboCop movie that does this.
Yeah.
There's a Night of the Living Dead that does this. I'm interested in seeing how this goes. So I'm down for Shrek.
All right, then. I think it's available for free online on YouTube, I believe. Yeah, it is. So if you just look up Shrek Retold on YouTube, you'll find it easily, and you can watch along with us. Should be interesting.
Okay. Very nice. Well, with that out of the way, I think that does lead us to the end of the show. Thank you, Jackson, for being on the program.
My pleasure. I would not miss it.
How can kids find you on the internet? How can they buy your movies? Stuff like that?
My Instagram is Mr. Jackson Stewart. They can find me there. Beyond the Gates is still being sold by Shout Factory, I believe. Maybe it's time we do like a 4K upgrade or something to that effect. But yeah, any fine real retailer, you should be able to get it. Any fine online retailer, I should say. And yeah,
I'd say it's downright essential Halloween viewing.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Kevin. And yeah, there should be a new thing coming down the pipe pretty soon. Oh yeah.
Well, cool. I look forward to that. The kids listening can also find us on Facebook, facebook.com/junkfooddinner. Also, there should be a link there to find us in the Discord. Join the Discord and talk to us. It's fun in there. Also, you can find us on Patreon, patreon.com/junkfooddinner, where we're uploading bonus episodes and all kinds of stuff. Probably this month, more bonus episodes than normal, I would think, even though they're all broken up. But I think minute-wise, quite a lot of bonus stuff going up over there. If you're into that. Also, you can email us at jfdpodcast@gmail.com.
Oh. Also,
call us on our voicemail number at 347-746-JUNK.
Oh. Also,
it's 347-746-5865. Also, you can go to the Facebook and just hit the call now button if you want to send us a voicemail. Okay. Well, I mean, you don't have to. Let us know how you feel about Batman or Shrek. Those are the two things that we want to be talking about next week. Looking back at Batman, looking to the forward with Shrek. Also, that's it. That's all the stuff. So no also. So this is Parker. Until next week, for Jackson and Sean, saying thanks for having fun.